Maou 2099 is the kind of anime that doesn't need to be deep. It knows how to be fun. When you combine cyberpunk, demons, gacha, Dark Souls, hacking the public TVs to display porn, maid cafes, magic, free feet, and English you actually kinda enjoy,
Interesting this.
that's fun. Veltol is a demon lord who became a live streamer because attention gives him power, and he has no relevant job skills because he's been dead for 500 years. The future's kinda wacky, but it's fine. He has his loyal best girl Machina for support. She revived him, and will probably be why he clicks on every ad like this. She also writes fanfiction about him. Takahashi read that fanfiction. That's how they met. She's obsessed with being a beautiful hacker girl, and together they're going to help Veltol take over the world again. The Demon Lord genre is similar to isekai. You usually start watching and hope it won't be awful. Maou 2099 decided to be a good version of both. The world is this mix and match of magical technology advancements and the charm that comes with learning about them, but it keeps a familiar vibe that reminds you of Blade Runner or Ghost in the Shell. Aesthetically, it's not that deep. World domination via rage bait though? That has a ring to it. Because positive or negative emotions work equally in our boys' favor. There's actually some pretty good moments of what streaming is like thrown in. And there's fight scenes. I guarantee Blood Tube Bomb will be stuck in your head, and this scene is not even very important, because this anime knows what it's trying to be. It works because it takes all these ideas I bombarded you with at the start of the video, and actually remembers to use them. This is a rant. Get ready to lock in. There's a show that came out recently called Dusk Beyond the End of the World. It's a sci-fi anime original, my #1 weakness. If you don't want spoilers for it, skip to whatever the timestamp here says. Alright, so what you need to know is this anime revolves around two main ideas. Some new kind of polyamorous relationship dynamic called LC that seems to be like marriage 2.0 or something. They don't really explain much. And the main character waking up several hundred years in this Orwellian dystopic future after being shot because his girl, sister, friend thing, it's complicated, was a bigger AI nerd than Sam Altman. Anyway. The world as I've described so far already presents an interesting set of possibilities to explore, even if you think some of that might be a little bit weird. But there's also this group of hot battle androids, my other #1 weakness. There's a certain mystery throughout the show. These androids have oddly human-like qualities. It almost feels like instead of the typical trope of putting a human consciousness into a robot body, these androids give the impression of being human at the core with android tech slapped on top or something. And double spoiler alert, they kinda are. Fucking nanomachine bullshit cop-out writing. Anyway, those nanomachines I just bleeped over? That's it. Nothing else I mentioned even attempts to get explored. This girl tries so hard to seduce the main character away from his baddie android girl thing, remember it's complicated, in a story that presents the premise of an alternative style of relationship dynamic just being the most common thing in the world that everyone engages in, and just has him behave like a typical MC protag wimp. Triple spoiler alert, not only is he actually an android too, so they could have really explored an aha moment here, they don't even dive into the secretive owl organization that you assume is controlling all the technology in the world via this massive gap in how people live. It introduces all of these potentially interesting different ideas, and it doesn't even matter what your level of interest in them is, because it never bothers to even try and explore them. Let me sum this up as clearly as I can. The anime fails to even be the author's thinly veiled fetish. That's how awful it is. Veltol has clear character growth a few episodes in. This man killed him at the start of the show. Meaningful plot progression on sensible timescales. But to tie things together so you aren't left wondering if the past 2 minutes served as this video's version of subjecting you to someone's thinly veiled fetish, and if you skip to this part, that line is not even a spoiler. Everything has a purpose. Anything you think is a throwaway reference or joke always comes back. When the anime cares about the world it creates, that's what lets me start caring about it too. Veltol is Demon Lord number 3597218, you get it. But I actually look forward to watching the next episode because it just keeps building on a solid foundation. The streaming part has fairly little screen time, but they remember to work it into the plot so it always feels natural. Being plunged into the future feels like more than a gimmick. Hints of the past set up a lot of the humor for existing how they are now. It just rewards your attention by consistently advancing the ideas it introduces, and I think that's enough to elevate it above a lot of other stuff you could spend your time on. Because that's what this is all about, right? Even my videos, aside from or including the meta commentary right now, depending on how you feel about it, every line I say has a purpose. If nothing else, then to make a joke out of whatever the last thing I said was. So when you remember, I said there'd be English you'd actually enjoy.
Small and lightweight に省エネルギー性を realization 業界にイノベーションを巻き起こす New generation
Promises made, promises kept. It just flows so well. The soundtrack is also a banger. You can't have a good time without some good music. Yeah, I ragged on it for not being very deep as a bit of a joke, but it has heart. It's an anime that presents a cohesive experience from beginning to end and confidently uses the ideas it introduces. For me, Maou 2099 is a good show because it's fun. And it's fun because it's a concentrated dose of a lot of other cool ideas. Throw in some clever writing, and it doesn't need to try and be anything other than what it is. But when you choose to keep following up a solid performance with another equally solid one next time, sure, I'll say that's worth watching. And then you sprinkle just a tad of meaning on top of that entertaining character growth. Okay, maybe it's a little deep. But you should probably watch it because it's fun.